There comes a time in this life, baby, where you try. This is the time, so don't say maybe. Live life right.
Aries, this is your May 2016 reading. It's your love and partnership as well as general forecast. We're starting out with your love and partnerships. The first card that comes up is the getting to know each other. This card suggests that if you're in a relationship already, that healing will occur through honest dialogue, especially if you've been keeping your feelings bottled up. So at this point, it is suggested by the universe that you to have an open-hearted discussion with your partner about those things which you have possibly been fearful of discussing with them. But keeping it bottled up and stored up is not the route to go either. This festers and it breeds resentment in the end, and that is not good for a relationship. If you're getting into a new relationship, it says as you get to really know one another, you find you have much in common, and this is possibly how a strong bond will form. So there's something about first getting to know that person, because you're going to discover things about them that you were completely unaware of and that are going to surprise you in a really, really good way. And because you get to know them, this strengthens the bond immeasurably between the two of you. The next card that comes up says love or die if held too tightly, love or fly if held too lightly. So this applies both to permanent relationships or people already in relationships and those of you getting into new relationships. It's finding that balance between letting things go and holding on. Some things, let them go, others it's necessary to hold on to. If you're just getting to know a person, don't take them too lightly, but don't cling either. Yeah, balance is basically something we do in relationships permanently, that seesaw thing. Then you were supposed to get one card and two came up, which says this is fundamental change, big change, game-changing game that's coming up. So something's going to happen, something which possibly you didn't see coming. Or some of you have seen it coming, but you're not even aware of how big this change is going to be. But the end result is good because it's the ring. This means there's a bond forming, a long time bond forming with somebody. So some of you are going to get into new relationships and there's going to be a long time bond forming between the two of you. Others of you that are in relationships that manage to heal whatever it is that's in the relationship, that fundamental change that makes a change to the entire relationship, will then strengthen that bond, because that ring card is almost a good luck card as well. So this change, although it may be hugely uncomfortable, or you may have to undergo hugely uncomfortable change in your relationship or to get a new relationship, it's going to bring you luck in the long term. You were also supposed to only get one guidance card and two guidance cards came out. The unfoldment card speaks about this is change on a soul level. And sometimes, yes, we make changes and we know this is soul level change, but this card normally says the soul level change, you're not aware of the fact that that's where the change is taking place. It's manifesting outwardly, but actually what's happening at a soul level, you are evolving. There's a change coming. Then you get the Dawn or New Beginnings card, which is saying that you've gone through that dark night now, and the sun is starting to peek over the horizon, the new day is beginning, and with that new beginning becomes the promise of the future. It has potential, it has brightness, it has sunshine. So know, you're going through those last steps now in May of whatever it is you had to go through in partnerships and relationships, but now it's changing. Day is breaking. Now for your general forecast, I did a nice one this month. It's good fun. And it's about what do you really desire. It's quite interesting that this was done because I usually go by what the readings request, the private readings, and this is coming through a lot. What does a person really do that will make them happy? And often we actually don't honestly know. We think we know, but we don't. Now, this first card that comes up is the happy, happy card. And this speaks about wanting to be able to take pride in your accomplishments, wanting to do good work and be well compensated for it. You want to be happy with the results of your efforts, and people must also then feel gratitude for work well done. So in other words, not only do you want to be doing what you love doing and doing it well, but you want to feel the return from it. The energy flow must go both ways for you. You want to feel compensated with gratitude and, let's say, monetary or more work or whatever, but you want that balance in your life. It's probably missing at the moment. It says, right, if you get that, how does this help you? This card says it will make you more passionate about what you do and life in general. It will give you confidence to take action and be able to do so quickly and effectively. And it will make your life adventurous and help curb your restlessness. Restlessness is coming through for Aries. Look, in general, I think that is an attribute of Aries to make them move forward, to make them the pioneers. Then the card that comes up says, right now, how would this hinder you? If you've got this balance in life between putting out there and getting back, how would it hinder you? And this card reminds you that part of that restlessness that you feel is because you're forgetting about the soul connection with other people. It says, do not forget that you need a spiritual bond with people as well. So you're probably looking for your happiness in what you do and forgetting that you need to have it with the people around you too. You need to establish bonds with people so that that level is also compensated. So there you can also feel adventurous of spirit and the return of energy. Then it says, you will never curb your restlessness, no matter how far you go or what you do, unless you form those bonds with people as well. Now it says, right, how do you go about getting what you really want? And this is the Lion card that says, don't look for a path. You're going to have to carve a path of your own. Do what needs to be done, but don't harm anything in the process. Not an animal, not yourself, not people's feelings. So go after what you want. Blaze that trail where no path has been carved before, but do not hurt anybody along the way. Sometimes this is difficult, but we do know how to go about getting what we want without trampling all over people. That is possible. It says then, resolve unfinished business and tie up loose ends because this is necessary for the road ahead. You can't leave stuff behind you that is undone or set off knowing that you've left behind unresolved issues. They do need to be finished up, tied up, so that you can leave it behind as a job done or as a situation that's finished, done and dusted. And then hand your worries to a higher power. So that's important then. So then those things that are left behind that you know are not within your power to change, you hand them over to God, to Spirit, to universe. Now the outcome here is interesting. I want you guys to do something fairly interesting. After I did this reading for you, because it ends up on this card, I thought, now what was your readings the few months before? Mostly the general theme I can remember, but the entire reading I do 12 a month or so, and then not to mention all the private readings. So sometimes I generally cannot remember the details. So I went back and I watched your April reading and I watched your March reading, and there's a story unfolding, a very, very clear story unfolding for you guys. So if you have the time or the interest, do yourselves a favor, go back to March, watch April, and watch May, and see how your story is unfolding. It's brilliant. Now your outcome card says, now you've reached a fork in the road. Now the decision you've been putting off, you can no longer put it off. Now it's a dead end. You're going to have to turn left or you're going to have to turn right. It says this decision has been looming and now there is no longer putting it off. You've come as far as you can on this road and now it's time for change and evolution. This card says to decide which direction to go, ask yourself a question and answer with absolute honesty. What do I want to become? What do I truly believe in? The answer is the fork you choose, the direction you choose to go. That answer will give you the direction. And I'm actually dying to see what your June reading says as to where you should go and what you do. Sorry, I had to stop my dog from scratching. I'm sure you could hear her in the background. Right. Now, your soul path card is that of the duck. And this speaks about be aware of what drives you and what motivates you. That has to do with that fork in the path, the road ahead as well. Look at your motivations and look at what drives you. You may be choosing a direction based on not having a look at your proper ulterior motives, okay? Not having a look at what you really want. Because what you really want is possibly something you are almost fearful of pursuing. And as long as you're making decisions based on what will placate you for a while, you're going to come up against dead ends and you're going to come up against challenges. We have to face the truth at some stage. Eventually, we're going to run smack bang into it. Trust me on that. It says, feel your responses, but do not be overwhelmed with them. What feelings push you forward and what prevents your progress? And then the last card says, and don't forget about love. So here this comes up again. This is that soul connection you have with people. This is, I want to say, look, theoretically speaking, I would say this is not just about your love relationships, but I have a feeling this is about your love relationships. This is about your one-on-one relationship with somebody. For Aries, I think there's two scenarios here. One, you're possibly in a relationship which you have realized has come to a fork in the road. And that making the decision to move off is monumental. There's so much involved here. But to keep those feelings suppressed, to not deal with it, to keep glossing over it, to keep staying with it because you know there's too much involved in not dealing with it, like I say, you're going to hit a wall eventually, some kind of wall. And for some of you, you're going to stay in that partnership or relationship, but you're kind of keeping yourself slightly separate because that bond with that person brings with it feelings, responsibilities, duties, a way of life that you're not at this moment wanting to deal with. So the thing to do here is you need to square up to that as well. And you need to realize if you're with somebody, you have to have that bond. It's necessary. You need to go to that depth in your relationships because not only are you trailblazers on the physical level, you are trailblazers on every level. That means feeling-wise too. You guys have to blaze trails in there. You have to go where you haven't gone before. Right, I'm going to finish your reading off there. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and listening.
Lately, I lived alone, and I'm tired. All I want is something real, something I can sink my teeth on. Every time I see you there, try and write you a quirky little love song. So here we go, let's pass. Can I love